I was first diagnosed with breast cancer in 2003. I was sitting before the eminent Mr. Patterson, and he told me I had breast cancer and that I would have to have major surgery. When Mum was diagnosed with cancer, it was just a kind of surreal moment. It was almost like, this can't be happening. So Ian Patterson was the leading breast consultant. His nurse wasn't just an ordinary nurse, she was a breast care specialist. From the moment you stepped into that private hospital, you were told that you were lucky to have the best. He was the go-to consultant in the Solihull area.
Patterson carried out an unapproved mastectomy which left Debbie in horrendous pain. She later learned her cancer was not serious enough to warrant the operation or the 7 months of chemotherapy that followed.
And I essentially woke up like I was in, on death's door, and I was in a world of pain. So for 7 months I had chemo, all the side effects of that, and I didn't need it. Mum was so active, she'd never be sick. She had drains coming out of her, she was hooked up to heart monitors. It was just devastating to see.
In 2011, Patterson was suspended, prompting Debbie and others to ask for a review of their own treatment and surgery. That's
when I started asking questions. So when I was recalled, the first thing I said to the consultant, who was an independent consultant, was, do me a favour, can you look through my notes and see if there's another pathology report? And there was, and it conflicted with the one that she'd read out. So I immediately thought, somebody's trying to cover something up.
Eventually, Debbie learned that Patterson had carried out hundreds of unnecessary operations on women, as well as other surgery that left patients at risk of their own cancer returning.
I had to fight to get to the facts of my own case, but then I went all out to ensure that everyone else was seen properly. I fought to get him into prison, to get him to stand trial. But ultimately I fought for an inquiry. It was like, Mum was right, that's it. I'm not going to stop this. This is something I need to get stuck into because something needs to be done. And that's what she did.
To 15 years in jail. That's now been increased to 20 years.
Yes!
In 2017, Patterson was jailed for 20 years for 17 counts of GBH and wounding with intent. The inquiry identified 11,000 patient victims, with Debbie pushing for justice for those who had passed away as well as those living with the effects of Patterson's crimes. But Debbie's work wasn't over. She has campaigned for a full inquiry into his actions.
She's a very tenacious character. When she gets the bit between the teeth, she'll go for it. She doesn't like injustice, and she'll help whoever she can when she can. And that's what she's been doing now for the last few years.
Debbie helped set up hotlines for those affected, providing access to legal and emotional support. Others needed medical care where surgery had been incomplete.
She started to investigate other women's cases. She was just a rock for so many people. She had people calling her up constantly, all hours. And Mum was just more than happy to do that. She's just incredible. She just does it all off her own back, and she'll never give up until there's justice.
Very proud of what she does, and always have been and always will be proud of her.
My nanny's the best nanny ever.